I'm making some filled buns. So first I have in this pot 1 cup of milk. To that I'm going to add 1/3 cup of butter and 1/3 cup of sugar. And I'm going to put this to melt. And don't let the milk boil, but we want the butter just about melted when we take it off. So I'll put that to melt. And in this bowl, I'm going to put 2 cups of flour. Now I'm using a combination of white and whole wheat flour. So you do, I'm sure it would turn out if you used only whole wheat. I haven't done it, so I'm going to do a half and half. And to the 2 cups of flour, 1 pack of dry active yeast, quick rise, instant yeast it's called. Stir that up. Now this mixture, the milk mixture is warm. I'm just stirring up the last of the butter. Put that into the flour mixture. Along with 2 eggs. So now I'm going to beat this for a couple of minutes, and I've got 2 cups and 1/3 measured out of flour. And once I beat this for about a minute, I'm going to beat in the remainder of the flour. Now I've mixed this for about 2 minutes. To my flour here, I put in 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to beat this flour in as much as I can with the spoon. And then once it gets too hard to mix, then I'm going to turn it out on the floured surface, and I will continue to mix it by hand. Once everything is all mixed up, I'm going to knead it for a couple of minutes, probably. So it's going to take about a total of 8 minutes. If you have a electric mixer with a bread hook, you can certainly use that. But since I don't, I'm going to be doing it by hand. So the dough, I've been kneading it probably for about 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes. And looks like it's ready. So now I'm going to put it in my pan. So I've put oil in the pan. So I'll put the dough in, move it around so surface is oiled, and I'm going to cover it with saran wrap and leave it to rest probably for about an hour and a half. While my dough is rising, I'm going to put my filling to cook. So I've chopped up half a cabbage, fairly small. It was a small cabbage, fairly small pieces, and I've chopped up an onion, and I've got a pan heating with butter, and I'm going to put that in the pan to cook. Now I want everything all totally cooked, so it's probably going to cook for about a half an hour. If the butter starts to, that there isn't enough butter, I'm not going to add more butter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water, and then I'll put it on, cover it with a top, and then just continue to cook it like on a low heat. But when we use the filling, we want to make sure that all of the liquid is absorbed. So make sure if you're adding any water, use like maybe like 1/8 of a cup at first. Just add a little tiny bit as you go along. But that's preparing the filling. That's it for now. So the dough has doubled in size. Punch it down, let the air out. Now what I'm going to do is pinch off a good handful, I guess. Going to squish it down. Normally, if I had a rolling pin, I would do that. That has to be on my to-buy list. So I flattened it down. Now here's my cabbage onion. You could also, if you wanted to do a meat version, cook meat in a separate pan, add it to the cabbage and onion, mix it all together, and then you could do like a beef cabbage one. So then you want to fold this all over, pinch it down. So I'm going to form it into a bun. Now if it's not sticking as well as you would like, what you can do is use a bit of water and wet your fingers, and then pinch the dough together, and that will hold it better. So then it's going to be formed like that, seam side down. It's going to go on the cookie sheet, and it's going to rest. I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap, and it's going to rest again for this time about a half hour. So I'm just going to wet the edges here, then pinch it all together. So I'm going to do 4 of them like that. What I also am going to do though, I'm just going to pinch off the ones I'm going to use. So with the balance of the dough, I'm just going to add about quarter cup of raisins, I guess. And I'm just going to mix up the dough a little bit more. So these are just going to be like a dinner bun, except they'll have some raisins in them just for a little bit of different taste. So the same, just tear off. This time though, you don't have to seal them, just fold them up like that. They're going to go on the same pan, and they're going to rise for half hour at least. Here's the finished bun. Took about 25 minutes. So I'm just lightly buttering the top. I would do it with a brush. I don't have one of those either, so. And I'll break it open. It's a little bit on the hot side. But there it is. Yum! Smells delicious. I'll give it a taste. What a mess. This would be really nice filled with meat and cabbage. But it's nice just with the cabbage. Well, hope you enjoy it.